Hello everyone, welcome to this session. I am Sanyukta Saxena, a certified Zentangle teacher, and in today's session we shall be learning another new Zentangle original pattern called Ahh. Yeah, the name is Ahh. The pattern looks as beautiful as its name, as festive as just like a celebration, like firecrackers, right? It's a lovely pattern to learn and a very simple pattern to draw. So let's get started and let us first learn how to draw the pattern and then we shall proceed further from there. So the pattern Ahh starts with somewhat a rough circle. I'm drawing this with a pencil because I'm not going to be penning it, right? And then I'm just going to start adding these straight line with a dot at the end, right? So I hope you can see it clearly. Yeah, so straight line with a dot in the end like this, right? Small, big, you can draw a mix of small and big. There is no order in which you are supposed to draw. You can draw a couple of big ones also, it's okay. A straight line with a dot at the end. So the basic stroke is the line and the dot, nothing else. And just taking that pencil circle as a reference. If you can do without it, please go ahead. Very good. Right? So that's about it. That's the pattern. Yeah, that's simple. I'm sorry. So what did I do? I'll just show you once again. Just drawn a pencil circle for reference. And then just like firecrackers or flower or anything exploding, something like that. Yeah, just drawing these lines emanating from this pencil circle with a dot at the end, right? So that's the tangle pattern. Some small, some big lines, a mix of small and big lines. So that's the pattern Ahh. That's simple, right? So let me show you a few tiles where I've used the pattern and you'll get some idea as to how you can use the pattern. So just posted them recently on my Insta. So this is one tile where I kind of, added some stem kind of things to my Ahh, right? Again, this is another tile where you can see Ahh has been used in the border, right? So two layers of Ahh has been used here. Again, another tile, right? So Ahh just look like kiwis here, right? And then this one that I posted as a teaser with the alphabet S and Ahh surrounding it. Yeah, so just few ideas. Again, a dingsplats with Ahh in the center and some flowers. I just molded these shapes into flowers and then added some Ahh inside them also, right? So just few uses of the pattern. You can use it in so many other ways. It's a very cool pattern, right? Very festive, very something like firecrackers or something like that. So let us get started with our today's style, right? Just one thing more about the pattern Ahh. There is no, it's a very simple pattern, so there is no complex shading. You just have to add some graphite here around this circle pencil reference that you drew and then just blend it. So that's simple to shade it. So nothing complicated about shading. So you generally shade your Ahh like this only, right? So just put this, highlight the inner circle, right? That's the way to shade it. So let us get started now. So I'm just going to place my dots and borders, right? And with a sense of gratitude and appreciation, join these borders with a light line, right? And then let us get started with our tangling. So I'm now going to add some zigzag curvy shape like this. right? And then going to add Ah inside it. So just drawing one small circle for reference, right? And start with my Ah right away. So a mix of straight and curved lines. I'm sorry, small and big lines. If you give a curve to these lines, probably they will coincide with other patterns like fescue or mist. So it would be nice if you keep the line straight if you want this pattern to be discrete from other patterns, right? So just a small, if you draw a crinky line, it may overlap with fescues or mist or something like that. So actually the look of the pattern is from the straight lines only, right? So that's one Ah. I'm now going to add a border, right? So like this, and then I'm going to add the pattern Diva dance. So I'm adding these humps now and filling it in, right? So just find some spots where you can add these hump anywhere. So there is no rule as such. Distance doesn't matter, you can put it anywhere, big, small, right? Now that I have done that, I am now again going to add close aura, just the way we do in Diva dance. Right? Now again one more aura. So simple pattern, just auras, as is the case with many of the Zentangle patterns. Aura based. Again going to add some humps. Ink them in. So take your time to ink, don't haste up, go slow. Right, so added second layer of humps now. So let's now aura again. Right, so done with that. Probably one more layer of aura with some small humps, that would be sufficient for this Ahh. What a lovely name, no? The pattern seems as refreshing as the name. Ah. So enjoy each stroke, go slow. As I keep saying again and again, rotate your tile, don't move your hand much. Right. Yeah, so we are done with one. Let us add one more. Right, so again I am going to draw one small pencil circle for reference and add one more Ah. If you want, you can play with the dot add some dots, add some pointed shapes. That's one possibility. So I have done this when in the tile which I just shown, in this one, the kiwi one, right, where I have played with the ends. So you can play around with the pattern, just explore. But first the triangle as is, right? So drawn my second Ah. And now again the same exercise. I'm going to add one aura. Right? Now that I've added one, now I'm going to again add those humps in exactly the same way. Right? So I'll do the same thing for this one also and probably add one more. Yeah, here, let us see. So I'm now adding the third one, doing the same exercise once again. Tangle Ahh. Just one stroke tangle, a straight line and a dot. So you can draw these lines close to each other also. There will be a little difference in the look. That's one more variation. If you draw these lines very close to each other, right? So that's one more way to bring about a variation. So one border and then again the same exercise of adding humps. So Diva dance is a pattern with many variations. If you refer to my video, you can see I think 3 or 4 tutorials dedicated to only Diva dance, because it can be used in various different ways and it's a very simple pattern to draw. So try following those videos. If you are new to the tangle, it would be nice to watch the video. Right, so probably one more layer. And then we can close our Ahh. Yeah, I think that is sufficient. So now the rest of the tile up to us. Again, what do we want to do? So let us draw a grid. You can draw any tangle of your choice. Right, so I'm going to draw a square grid here and let us see what we do. Right, so a double line grid. That's about it, right? So now I'm going to draw lines like this to form a square grid, but not crossing the line anywhere. Right? Again, yeah, so now that my grid is in place, so let us now add probably a tangle called Vitruvius inside each, right? So I'm going to be adding this tangle called Vitruvius, which looks like roses, but it is made up of only squares and circles. And I'm going to ink the rest of the space, right? So what I've done here is drawn a circle, again drawn a square, again drawn a circle, again drawn a square, circle, square, circle, right? And then this section I'm going to ink. So simple tangle we have already learnt, looks like roses to me, but it is totally made up of geometric. So again, circle, square, circle, square, circle, square, circle, square, circle. Yeah, that's simple. And some inking to add that much required drama, right? So I'll continue like this. So done the same exercise for all the boxes, and now I am going to ink the corners which are left behind. So added the pattern Vitruvius to all the boxes, all the squares created by the grid, and now inking the corners, right, like this. So tangling is not complete without inking, so always have that patience to ink the small little spaces left in between tangles, because they add a lot to the look of your tangle, right? So take that time. Again, Vitruvius is a pattern we have already learned, so you might want to refer to my previous video just in case you are new to the tangle. So I've just drawn a square grid and added the pattern inside the grid. It's one of the patterns which has a very organic look, but it has very geometric strokes, right? So a unique pattern, a rose created with the help of squares and circles. So you might want to learn it. So completing the last few. You can draw any other pattern of your choice. There are a whole lot of tangles. So I was thinking about Knightsbridge, but then I changed my mind. Try putting Knightsbridge in the background. May look nice. Right, so now that we are done with the inking, I think I left one here. So let us now move to shading our tile. Now that we have completed tangling, the next step is to shade, right? So I'm now going to pick up my pencil and add some thick graphite in the inside. Right, but a little thicker here, just to give an impression of something going inside, right? So graphite throughout, but a little thicker on one side to give the impression of something going inside probably. Or you can just add simple graphite at the borders, edges, it's okay anyways. Again some around the circle. So such a simple pattern to draw, and you can see what a beautiful tile that will come up, right? And then you can add some on the Diva dance, but we shall see if it is required, right? And some on one side of the Vitruvius. I'm just going to add a little on one side like this, and probably highlight the other side. Right, so first let us start to blend and we shall see what needs to be added where. So now going to blend. So don't make the entire thing gray. So blend, but leave that inside thing white, right? So again I'm going to add some more here, make it darker. You can also add some watercolor pencil if you wish to, right? It's okay, I think the pencil is dark enough. Yeah. Moving on to the next one. Just blend, but don't blend too much. Right, again the third one. Soft circular movements. Right, so again let us see if we need to add something at some of the places. So what's already there on my stump, I think that's enough to highlight, right? So just a touch at few places wherever there is a dip probably. Yeah, yeah, then we shall just turn one side of the Vitruvius dark, right, and highlight the other side. So I'm shading in a way that one side of my Vitruvius is dark and I shall highlight the other side, right? Right, now that we have done that, let us pick up our chalk pencil, right, and then add some thick chalk on the other side of the Vitruvius, the background, right? So So it's important that high and low both are visible. That's why you do not blend so much that you make everything gray. Right, so the contrast, the depth will be visible only when you have both high and low. Right, so that's about shading. I think we don't need anything else. We can retrace the inner line though. So I'm going to retrace the inner aura with my thicker pen, which is the PN. Right, like this. Yeah, so at times after shading, always review your tile and see if certain lines need re-emphasis or retracing. It's always a good idea, right? So I think that's about it. We don't need to add anything else. If you want, you can put some highlights here and there on your Diva dance also. Entirely optional. So you may highlight some of the places where lines are up, since you have made the lower portions dark, right? So just a few highlights here and there, not all. Yeah, that's about it. That's our tile for today. That's the pattern Ahh. And let us now close our tile, right? So I'm going to put my chalk, Sanyukta Saxena, right, and sign and date it. Today is 15th. Yeah. So take a moment to appreciate your tile, and we shall meet again with another Zentangle original. Till then, have a good time. Bye bye. Stay safe.